Trump says Iran is begging for a deal. Iran says the American peace plan is unreasonable. And while both sides talk like negotiations are moving, the war has now entered day 27, with assassinations, missile alerts, more deaths in Lebanon, and a military buildup that suggests this conflict could still get much bigger. Here is what happened today. Donald Trump claimed that Iran's leaders are, quote, begging to make a deal, not me. He also said Tehran had allowed a number of oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz as a sign of good faith. But Iran's public response was the exact opposite. Iranian officials described the American 15-point peace plan as maximalist, unreasonable, and even a third deception project. State television outlined 5 conditions for peace, including an end to what Iran calls aggression, guarantees the war will not happen again, compensation, an end to fighting on all fronts, and recognition of Iran's sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz. So the real story right now is this. Publicly, both sides are humiliating each other. Privately, messages are still moving through Pakistan. That means diplomacy is alive, but trust is almost completely dead. On the battlefield, the escalation continued. The United States and Israel say an Israeli strike killed Alireza Tangsiri, the commander of the IRGC Navy, though Iran has not confirmed it. Israel also stepped up attacks on Iran's military infrastructure, while missiles were launched toward Israel again. In Tehran, officials say around 2,000 families have now been left homeless by the strikes. The broader civilian toll is far worse. Iran's UN ambassador says at least 1,348 civilians have been killed in the country since the war began, while independent rights monitors put the number even higher. And the war is not staying inside Iran. In Lebanon, Israeli strikes killed at least 5 more people, and nearly 1,100 people have now been killed there since the conflict widened. Israel says it is expanding a real security zone in southern Lebanon, a phrase that has triggered fears of a long occupation. Hezbollah is openly preparing for a long fight. At the same time, the United States is preparing for more war, even while talking about peace. The Pentagon is preparing to deploy up to 7,000 additional troops to the region. 13 American service members have already been killed and 290 injured since the war began. Some U.S. troops have reportedly been forced out of damaged bases and are now working from hotels and office spaces across the region because Iranian attacks made parts of those bases unusable. And then there is the money. Oil prices remain volatile. Brent crude was still above $102 a barrel, even after easing slightly. Gasoline prices in the United States have surged about 34% since the war began. And now, even Trump's own policy response is causing outrage. Because his administration eased oil sanctions on Russia and Iran to try to calm fuel prices. A move critics say is now putting money into the hands of countries America is actively fighting. So that is day 27. Trump says Iran is desperate. Iran says America is bluffing. The talks are still unofficial. The bombing is still real. And both sides are preparing for the next phase at the exact same time. Subscribe now. Day 28 drops next.